What might I do to make a positive difference? Here's the first one, a future-focused mindset. It is very natural in a crisis situation that we begin to look to the past. We begin to look at who messed up and why me. However, we have to pivot. We have to pivot and begin looking to the future. The coaching profession, just like the sales profession, has a commonality. And the commonality is that at the core, it's about insightful, robust, relevant, thought-provoking questions. And in the coaching world, when they've studied the anatomy of questions, what they have found is that the questions that start with what seem to accomplish the most in the long run. So what might we do to make a positive difference? We can start to look at the future. And what we're looking to do is to have questions where we get the green flag, questions that start with what, that are focused into the future. Number 2 prediction. Leaders with an innovation mindset will find solutions to seemingly unsolvable problems. You know, again, in a crisis situation, it's very natural for people to say, oh, we haven't done that before. We tried that a couple of years ago. It didn't work. And even as leaders, when ideas bubble up to us, we may have a tendency to cut them off. When the researchers study innovators, they find that there's a certain word that top innovators use that open up possibilities. They create new mental and neural pathways. And it's when those new connections begin to happen that new products and new services and new markets and new clients are born. It's the word might. What might? What might be some options that we could explore that are going to keep the customer happy? So as a leader, the yellow flag is when there's no options. The green flag is when we can start to hear some additional options and get the synergy and the creativity happening. Because it's then that we can find the answers that are going to help us solve some of the massive problems that we get the opportunity to tackle. Prediction number 3. I predict that leaders with an ownership mindset will increase their team's effectiveness, will increase their team's presence, including their executive presence and the ability to sell up and to sell out within the corporations they tackle. In crisis, we often see entitlement thinking. And entitlement thinking to me sounds like that is their problem. They messed up and they need to fix the problem for me. An ownership mindset says, what might I do to make a positive difference? What might I do given this obstacle that's in my way? We take ownership, and what happens when we take ownership as a leader, and we take ownership as a team, and we take ownership as a company, that it releases the brilliance that we've been given. The ownership mindset will increase the effectiveness of everybody on the team. And so the yellow or the red flag is when we hear people saying they. The green flag is when we take ownership and say I or we. What might we do to make a positive difference? Bold prediction. Number 4, action mindset. Leaders with an action mindset will get the momentum they need to achieve their goals. So leaders who will make a difference in the post-COVID world are leaders that have an action mindset and can nurture that action mindset in their teams. And again, that every salesperson, every team member needs something different. Some need us to help them to check in with daily goals. Others, maybe it's weekly or maybe monthly. Others, we may need to come alongside and check and see how they're doing and what kind of roadblocks they got, and then to help them plan strategies around the roadblock. It's going to vary for every salesperson. We, as leaders who are making a difference in the future, need an action mindset ourselves, and to be able to pivot all of our salespeople to be action oriented also. And here's the 5th one, my 5th prediction, an optimistic mindset. Those leaders with an optimistic mindset will achieve unbelievable results. And what the brain researchers say is that when we are positive, it's like there's literally a light bulb goes on in our brain. I mean, being positive energizes the neural pathways, and we see things that we haven't seen before. We can see pathways forward just by having an optimistic outlook. And yes, we always need to be realistic. We need to deal with the facts that we have at hand. And at the same time, we need to be having a clear, positive, compelling vision for the future. Our followers are looking for leaders that will provide a hopeful way forward. An optimistic mindset helps us to do that.